Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be doing what I call Tyler's book recommendation. Now I know some of you are probably like, Tyler, you've never read a book in your life. Hold up there, Jack. I've cultured myself over the last few years, and I've learned that reading books brings a whole wealth of knowledge and new learning experiences and really just broadens your horizons. So through the last couple of years I've read a few books, so I'm going to go ahead and give some recommendations on books that I've read. First recommendation is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone if you live across the pond, but we don't talk about those people. So this book, fantastic. I've never felt so transported into a world before, where the moment you started reading it, you feel like you're there on Privet Drive, you're there in the heartland of England or whatever part of Europe it's from, and you're just there in the wizarding world. Like, you're so engrossed in it, and it's just fantastic. And the movie is just as good. Yes, I've seen all the movies. This is my first time reading the books, but I promise you, the book is just as good, if not better. I'll let other people argue that. My next recommendation, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I know, it's not as good as the original, it's not as good as the first book, but it's still good. It brings a lot more depth, it has a lot of more world building to the Harry Potter universe. It is very convenient in certain plot points where it's like certain characters or creatures act a certain way to fit well with the narrative and the plot. I get that, but it's still a fantastic book. I highly recommend it to anybody that's looking to continue on with new books and not just reading the first in a series. Next recommendation, which could come as a bit of a shock, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Wow. It was honestly not one of my favorite movies in the series, but reading this book, it was definitely one of my favorites of the series because it just brings, again, more depth to a bunch of characters and brings in new characters that you just fall in love with right away. And I never would have thought that one of my least favorite films of the series would end up being one of my favorites of the book series. Next recommendation, Goblet of Fire. I know. You're probably saying, Tyler, how is that possible? How could you recommend Goblet of Fire? It's not like you've already recommended 3 other Harry Potter books. Look. Don't think about that. Just understand these are my recommendations from personal preference. I'm not trying to be biased in any way. Goblet of Fire, amazing book. It really it jumps the train in a lot of different ways. I don't really know what that expression means, but Hogwarts Express is a thing, so it's jumping that train. It goes from a simple little Hogwarts story to then there's death and carnage and fire and so much going on in this book, and it's crazy. And look how thick it is. Look at how thick. Like, look at this. From the first book to this one. You know how long it took me to read this? A while. I needed 2 people. I needed myself and my girlfriend to read through this because it was so big. Next on the list, which I bet you didn't see this coming, Order of the Phoenix. Wow. It is, well, I'm only 2 chapters into it, and it's phenomenal. I highly recommend the first 2 chapters of this book. Amazing. Just peak Harry Potter. Next on the list, I know, it's not a Harry Potter book. Tyler, what are you doing? This is blasphemous. I understand. I get that. This book, Ready Player One. I haven't read it yet, but I heard it's fantastic, so I highly recommend it to everybody else that is looking for a new book. Next, we've got Guns, Germs, and Steel. Wow. I picked up this book because it was required for a class that I was in, and boy, was I right. This book is amazing. I thought it was going to be all about the most manliest man, guns, germs, and steel. What other manly things can you get besides bacon or football? Fantastic book. And, not to spoiler alert, I thought it was all just fiction. No, turns out it's actually historically accurate, and it's all just about, like, real life, and, like, not America itself, but, like, the world. Crazy twist ending. Last but not least, we've got the Bible, because it's so convenient. It comes in so many different shapes and sizes, comes in like 20,000 different languages and different translations of those languages, in whatever way you want to read it. And look, like mine's so tiny and cute, it can fit in a pocket just like that. And it is a love story, all in all. And I hate to be spoilery, but they kill off the main character, and it's a real heartbreaker. But just hang in there, because there's a twist you'd never see coming. So there are my book recommendations. Let me know if any of these recommendations really jumped out to you, if you really enjoyed this style of a video. If you want, I can make other videos of different books that I've read or haven't read that I can still recommend to you. If you want, I can then give movie recommendations. God knows I've seen at least 10 movies, so I could give hours of recommendations on movies. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe to this channel, follow me on all different social medias, do what you gotta do. Please share this video around, like I said. I really appreciate it all. Thank you all so much. We out.